and welcome back to the channel. If you're new, my name is Chiz, my pronouns are they, she, and thanks for clicking on the video. Welcome. If you're coming back, I'm still me. Today I'm going to be doing some more alt TikTok clothing hacks. Woo! Also, I just wanted to brag that I made this hat. A little commotion for the hat, please. And I also made this necklace. It's not done, but I made it. Unfortunately, it's not in the video, but there's some cool ones in here, so I hope that you enjoy the video. This DIY was inspired by @Lord Can You Hear Me on TikTok. I changed it up a bit. So first, I painted the borders on my tank top. Then I grabbed my sketch pad, X-Acto knife, and some tape. So now it's time to make the stencil. I printed out my design. Then I put it on my sketch pad because the paper is thick. And I cut it a bit. I taped both sides so I will be able to reuse it and the paint won't damage the sketchbook paper. Then I cut it out. Just a quick tip, if you're cutting out things that have an O in them, like the eyes of the skull that I'm doing, make sure that that hole is like anchored to like a part of the stencil that's not being cut off. I don't know if that makes sense, but hopefully if you see what I'm doing, it will. After I was done with the stencil, I put something flat in between like the two layers of my tank top just to make sure I had a flat surface and the paint won't bleed to the other side. Also, this is what I meant to anchor the eyes to a part of the stencil that's not being cut off. Anyways, I positioned it where I would like it to be on the shirt and I shook the can of spray paint very well. This is the one I'm using, by the way. I got it at Michael's for around $8. The next thing I did was to finally spray paint, and this was super fun and satisfying, but you should not be like me, and you should do this in a well-ventilated area. Spray until you don't see any original fabric anymore, and you're done. For the next one, I made these two stencils using the same process as the skull stencil. Design, tape, front and back, and cut. And it's this, it's kind of hard to see. It's like this heart spiral. The other one's like this cross. This one definitely looks cleaner, but I don't know which one I want to use for my skirt. I kind of already like was set on the heart one, but this one looks pretty cool. I think this would be a good like centerpiece because it's super like symmetrical. So I'm gonna use this one for the skirt. So I have this sketchbook that I'm going to use to like make sure it's like flat. Okay, and then I'm gonna get my stencil. I'm gonna put it right here. I'm gonna make sure it's like good and fine. I got this foam. It is dirty, but it'll do. This time I'm not using spray paint, but I'm using this fabric paint, also from Michael's, and it was $1.50. I will put some on the back of my sketchbook, as I've done before. And then I will start from here. Ah, this is bad. This is not working the way that it was supposed to. So I decided to use this scrap fabric that I had laying around, and it actually worked pretty well. Once you see that there's no more spots left, it's time for the big reveal. It did bleed out in a few places, like right here and right here. I think it's because I used too much paint. But honestly, I think it looks pretty cool. So I just gotta let it dry and on to the next thing. This next hack was inspired by @SharkDano on TikTok. So it's basically making pins out of bottle caps, and shout out to Rebecca for all the bottle caps. I also have pliers, acrylic paint, paint brushes, and clear nail polish. These are what I'm going to be using. So how I bend them is I hold it with a plier, and then I just like push it against like a solid surface like that, and it bends. But this bed is not solid, so I'll be right back. So I bent them, you know, not too crazy. Don't snap them in half, you know, just like bend them a little bit. So next thing you're gonna want to do is put the tab in the cap and plier it all the way. Okay, so this is what we got so far. This thing should stick up a little bit right here. This is where you're gonna put your safety pin, but I'll put it in afterwards. And so we're just about ready to start putting on the designs. So I decided on the base color, and then I painted those onto the pins first. And after they dried, I put the designs on them. By the way, the land back pin design is inspired by the design on this person's shirt that I saw on TikTok. I also made an updated pronoun pin. I made one in my first alt TikTok clothing hack video, which you should check out. But yeah, I made another one, and this one's cooler. These are the best pins I've ever made. I will just come right out and say that right now. They are so good. I'm so proud of myself. I'm gonna let them dry a little bit more. Then I'm gonna put clear nail polish on them so it makes them shiny and it makes the paint not peel off. They've dried a bit, and my next course of action is to cover them with the clear nail polish. This is what it ended up looking like after it was all dried. I wanted to include a little demo on how to put the pin on without the safety pin actually showing through, because it was a bit tricky. The first step is to stick the pin through the inside side of your clothing. Then you're going to want to stick the safety pin through the pin you made. As you can see, I was running into a bit of issues. My pin wasn't going through. So I decided to bend the safety pin just a little bit so it could go through the tab. And it worked pretty well. So next, you stick it through to the other side and secure it. And it looks nice and you can't see the safety pin poking through, which is awesome. Alright, here's a roundup of the stuff so far. I didn't film it, but I sewed this patch onto my vest to be a pocket. And it's a great addition. Here's the tank top also. That was the first one we made. And in hindsight, I would have stretched it out while doing the spray painting so it wouldn't be all stretched out when I wore it. But it still looks cool. Here are the pins. I really like them. I like the way my vest is looking. It's coming along nicely. And just as a bonus, here are these safety pin earrings I made a while back. This hack was inspired by @TheForgotten on TikTok. So you got a pair of tights and you cut out the crotch, then you got a top. Cut a bunch of holes in said top, and hopefully efficiently and not like me, because I had to go in with scissors, an X-Acto knife, and then scissors 2 more times. It was definitely way more difficult than it should have been. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about this one because it was kind of a fail. I couldn't figure out how to do the shoulder crisscross thing. And conveniently, this fabric doesn't take to bleach very well, or the bleach wasn't strong enough. I don't know what the issue was, but I tried it multiple times and it didn't even change color a little bit. So it's not too bad. It's still wearable. It's just not what I was going for at all. So yeah, that was that one. Oh, what's that? Another stencil spray paint hack? Who'd have thunk? In the end, it was not too bad. I like the way the skirt came out. The shirt is pretty okay, I guess, and they look good together, so yep. This next one is inspired by this person's shirt that popped up on my For You page, and their ad is @Zombie0. So the first step was to cut this shirt I got from Shane into a tank top, using a tank top that I already have and that fit me well. I tried it on. I still needed to fix some things, but it fit me well for the most part. So anyways, it's looking good to me, so I'm going to go and draw my heart. I didn't have any chalk and I couldn't find my pencil, so I decided to use some pencil lead, and my fingernails are not that dirty. It's black paint, okay? Anyways, we're gonna get to cutting. So now your shirt should be looking like this, right? And now the first thing I'm going to do is take the piece that I just cut out and cut the border around it so it's like shorter and doesn't fit directly into the hole we cut. I find that it's easier to fold it in half when doing this step. Sick. Alright, so our next step would be to paint the borders of this heart and the border of this heart. So I did use acrylic paint because I didn't have enough colors of fabric paint except black and white, and I didn't want to use them, but I'll end up having to wash this by hand anyway, so it's fine.
I ended up sewing the rough edges of the sleeves by hand, and then I wanted to paint the borders of like the neck, the sleeve, and the bottom of it. So I mixed more paint and I did it. Now all I needed to do was take safety pins and attach those two hearts together, and I was done. It took a lot more safety pins than I anticipated, but I finished it. It looks so good, I can't wait to try it on. But first, I had some extra paint, so I tried out my other stencil. I did the dabbing method like I did for the heart spiral one, and it was so annoying because I had a lot of little lines and they kept moving around. So I didn't even cover everywhere, I just got frustrated and took it off. But this one would work a lot better with the spray paint. While that was drying, I decided to make my watch necklace. I never wear this watch, and I've been thinking about how I was going to turn it into a necklace. Until one day, I was at Michael's with my partner, and he said, "Do you need this wire thing?" And I was like, "No." And then I was like, "Wait, I could use that." So I did. With the help of my pliers, I twisted the wire around the handle of the thing, and I made these little loops so I could put the jump rings through. The ones that I used were these 6mm ones, also from Michael's, and I just put them through the little loop-de-loops. And then I had this ball chain, but I'm pretty sure you can just buy them anywhere, or use whatever type of chain you like, or even hand-make chain. But I had my necklace. Here's the next roundup of things. I really love the way the shirt came out. The way it fits is awesome. Everything is just perfect with it. And that's the cross that I did on the pants. I think it looks pretty cool in hindsight. More like be hindsight, am I right? Also, the pin that we made before. And the watch necklace looks pretty cool. Solid, pretty cool outfit that I can say I kind of made.
That's all that I got for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for 420 subscribers. Thank you for all the support on my channel. I really appreciate it. It's actually kind of unbelievable how many people are here. But I'm grateful for all of you. Thank you so much. Leave me a comment. Comment if you're gonna try any of these. If you ever do, send them to me or tag me. I would love to see them. But anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.